Hey everybody, and welcome to Leia's Lair. Here's our recap and review of the second episode of Disney Plus's The Mandalorian. In the first episode, we get introduced to the protagonist played by Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, aka Mando. He claims a bounty in the opening scene and then brings them to the guild to get paid by Carl Weathers' character Greef Karga. Greef then offers Mando an off-the-books bounty, to which he accepts. He then meets with the client, who is played by Werner Herzog, and is given no information other than the bounty is 50 years old and the client wants the bounty alive preferably, but will accept proof of death for a smaller fee. However, Dr. Pershing, played by Omid Abtahi, insists to bring in the bounty alive. They offer to pay Mando in BESKAR and give him an ingot as part of the down payment. Mando then heads off to fetch the bounty and is attacked by blurgs, but saved by Kuiil and Ugnaught, played by Nick Nolte.
I have spoken.
He trains Mando to ride a blurg mount, and he takes him to the bounty location. Once there, he finds the bounty droid, IG-11, played by Taika Waititi, already moving in, trying to claim the bounty. They team up to defeat all the mercenaries and find out that the 50-year-old bounty is a baby Yoda. IG-11 has been instructed to terminate the bounty, so Mando shoots him in the head to protect the baby. The episode ends there. The second episode picks up right where we left off. Mando's heading back to his ship with the bounty, aka Baby Yoda, when he's attacked by other bounty hunters. He is able to fend them off, but sustains minor injuries. He is trying to mend his injuries, and Baby Yoda seemingly wants to help Mando heal. Upon arriving back at the ship, he finds it being scavenged by Jawas. This gives us a hint that they might be on Tatooine. Mando starts attacking them, which leads him on a chase, where he is eventually knocked off the caravan. He returns to Kuiil, where they set out to barter with the Jawas. Not wanting to give up his BESKAR armor or the baby, he agrees to go fetch an egg. The egg is guarded by a species known as a mudhorn, and it proves to be a difficult challenge for Mando. Just when we think he will get trampled by the mudhorn for good, Baby Yoda uses the Force to lift it up and saves Mando. Mando is then able to destroy the beast, collect its egg, and trade with the Jawas. Together, he and Kuiil repair Mando's ship, and he leaves the planet with the baby next to him. So what did we like and didn't like about this episode? Well, I for one loved Baby Yoda. I found it to be just the cutest thing possible, and how every time he leaves his little cradle, Mando picks him up in the funniest way just to put him back in. It was so cute.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very nice touch to the episode. I also kind of just reminded me of kind of Gremlins on a side note, like just like a cute little gremlin.
Right.
So yeah, anyways, in the first bit, we see that the bounty hunters attack Mandalorian, which he makes quick work of. And then we see they also have a transponder like for the bounty. So I'm kind of interested in like wondering how many bounty hunters are after this other bounty. Like we already know that IG-11 was after him. We know that Mando was after him.
And we know there was a lot before. That's what the Kuiil mentioned in the first episode, that he was one of many who have come to get this bounty. So it just makes it seem like Baby Yoda is a hot commodity in the bounty world. So he's obviously got some sort of big importance.
And I'm just wondering kind of what factions are all in it. Like, do we have like the old Empire after him? Do we have just you don't know like who's in play right now. So I think that'll be interesting to see as the story keeps unfolding.
I also just loved the Jawas, just up to their like scavenging ways as usual in their big caravan. Mm-hmm. It was fun to see them again.
Yeah, I think it also kind of gives us a perspective that I think Mando is on Tatooine. Like you can just tell by the landmarks and
the landscapes.
The landscape, yeah, sorry. And there's Jawas. Like I'm sure there's Jawas on other planets, but I mean this is obviously a desert planet as well, so I would like to think it's Tatooine. We're never given any confirmation, but I'm gonna think it's Tatooine for now.
Even when he leaves though, the planet kind of looks like Tatooine from a distance too, so it could be.
Yeah. And just like that whole chase scene was like I thought it was pretty funny. Like Mando tries so hard to get all his pieces back for his ship, and at the end he just gets to the top and then just gets shot down.
Not before disintegrating how many Jawas. Like,
Yeah,
jeez.
and I think that is like, I think it's supposed to be funny, but it's also kind of like, wow, like I'm surprised that he just went and had them show all these Jawas getting slaughtered by Mando. I mean, that's not something that Disney usually would do.
Yeah.
So I like it. I'm a fan of this series so far. And yeah, we get to kind of see like what's inside the caravan. We get to see like we got to see a little bit of it in like episode 4, but we got to see like the driver's seat, what's going on in there.
Yeah, that was
and
cool.
all the
for
Jawas
sure.
poking their heads out of the sides. Like, so yeah. So anyways, after that all happens, he goes back to see Kuil, who obviously is going to tell him to go meet with the Jawas. Doesn't want to trade anything. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to trade my Beskar if I was a Mandalorian.
Especially not for your own ship pieces.
Yeah, like he's already pretty pretty upset by that. So, and he's obviously not going to give up the bounty either. So, and they want the egg, and I think that's kind of a funny touch to it because, I mean, like jumping ahead, like after he gets the egg, they just end up eating it.
Yeah, I thought they would have wanted it because it was valuable for some reason. And they just crack it open and eat it.
I thought they were gonna like, oh, trade it, or like, it could be a useful asset if they like get it on their side. Who knows? Personally, when we were going into that scene where he's going to get the egg, I honestly thought it was gonna be a crate dragon for sure. I was like, oh, is this when we get to see crate dragons? Like that would have been prime. But we do get to see a new species which we've never seen before, which is the mudhorn. And yeah, I wouldn't want to go up against one of those.
No, I didn't love that. Didn't love that species that much. Its egg really creeped me out, the way it was like furry. But the battle itself was cool, and we got to see Baby Yoda use the Force, which really indicates that there's a lot more going on than we might have thought before.
Yeah, so at this point we don't have any insight. We don't know. Well, we still don't know obviously what Yoda species is. We don't know if this is a separate character. We don't know if it's maybe a clone of Yoda. We don't know kind of what is going on with this thing, but it is Force sensitive, as we get to see, and so that is really exciting.
It's also super cute.
Yeah, and in the battle, just Mando gets his ass kicked by the Mudhorn. So thank God Baby Yoda's there to save him.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of the whole episode, I really liked it personally. Just everything about it. You get to see kind of like all these backside things. The first episode was very fast paced, so I think this was a nice way to kind of slow it down and like show exactly what's going on. Like with the Jawas, we get to see what's going on with them, and we get to see this new creature. So I think it shows like a kind of different perspective of Star Wars versus like the very fast paced like we had in the first episode. So yeah, the story itself didn't really progress a whole lot. Like, you might not need all this information. Like if Mando just happened to leave the planet, we wouldn't be the wiser, and the story would continue. But it is a nice touch to be able for it to slow down and us to get a glimpse at all these things going on.
Yeah, I also just liked for like the first 10 minutes, there was literally like no dialogue. It was just Mando and Baby like patrolling the planet together, which I thought was pretty cute.
Yeah, and I think slowing this down and him going through all this whole story, he's gonna get attached to this Baby Yoda. You can just tell like every time he leaves his cradle, he has to put him back, and then he's trying to help Mando, and then he saves him. So I think Mando's going to be persuaded not to give up the bounty.
I also think you can tell, like, after the baby goes to sleep, when he saves Mando, you can tell that Mando is somewhat concerned about the status of the baby when he doesn't wake up for seemingly a long time.
Yeah, he's trying to, like, shake the cradle, like, oh, are you still alive, buddy?
Yeah, so you can tell that there's some sort of bond forming between the two. In terms of a rating, I think I would give this episode an 8 out of 10 as well. I really did like most of it, but I just didn't like how it didn't really advance the plot very much. I thought there was a lot of funny points, and I loved the Baby Yoda, but I was looking forward to getting some of my questions answered in this episode, and they didn't really get answered, so that's why I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll also give it an 8 out of 10. I think that it was a nice, slower story. We get to see a lot going on Tatooine with the Jawas. We don't get too many questions answered, but we do know that Yoda is force sensitive, so we get that answered, which is very cool to see. But yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I still preferred the first episode, but this one is still good. So if this series keeps up like this, then I think we're in for a good show.
And there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. What did you think about episode 2 of The Mandalorian? Let us know down below in the comment section. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more great videos to come. I hope to see you all again in Leia's Lair.
Jedi yet.